What up a bit, Spursy listener? It's our 100th episode, and we're celebrating with all kinds of stuff like cake and M&Ms, and I'm Barney.
And I'm Dan.
And welcome to the 100th episode. Maybe, what if we're celebrating the draw?
Woo!
Ooh,
Draw!
Draw! Yeah, that's right. I know we're not allowed to celebrate, but
we're going to do it anyway.
this is an Arsenal fan's head that is seeing this video.
Oh!
Love the smell.
Love the smell of draw.
Yeah, wow. So, 100th episode, Dan. What are your finest moments? Let's play the montage.
Okay, so episode 7.
Yep.
And I can't actually remember.
I don't know either.
When it came up to looking at getting to 100. And look, we know other podcasts have done like 500 and whatever, but it's like 100's quite a lot.
It's a lot.
And I feel like we've done like 20.
Yeah. It does feel like that. Like I can remember doing the first one.
Yeah.
I can remember doing that first one. And then we sat down there, released it. I said, let's release it in 2 parts. You said, I don't think that's a good idea. And then we never released in 2 parts again because it was a bad idea.
But it was great. No, we had a lovely 10 downloads for those parts.
Yeah, we sure did.
I was just actually thinking, maybe my favorite moment was when we spent, I think, a 2.5 hour episode after the Super League was announced. And then we put it out, and then the next day, all the teams were pulled out and cancelled.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It's like, okay, all right.
That was pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, that's the highlight. That's the highlight. You never know what's on the horizon, and that's what keeps us going to 100 more.
100 more. Hopefully there'll be another Super League that we get to discuss.
Oh, really?
Well, maybe.
You hope that there is one.
All we need is content, and then we're good.
You're pro Super League? Is that what you're saying?
I'm pro. We're starting off going down the, the
we
slope now. We drew! Hey! I feel like I was so scared that these are going to actually explode. Because these are from Aldi.
Yeah, true.
And if you're not familiar with Aldi, it's a very, very cheap supermarket here with knockoff goods. Basically.
Goods. Yep.
So I'm glad that we have survived so far.
Yeah, we have. Go us. So obviously the game happened.
Yep.
And Dan, what'd you think?
Well, this is a game we actually were able to watch together, which is good.
That was great.
Because it was an 11 p.m. kickoff. Delightful. A lot of Spurs fans will be looking ahead and going, oh, will that continue? No, next week, 3:30 a.m.
Yeah, 3:30 a.m., which is the worst time.
The worst time possible.
Yeah, it's the worst time possible.
But it was very nice to be able to watch the game in company and not just be sort of like screaming at your TV by yourself. It was good. It was good. It was a game that overall, like, I was pretty happy with by the end of it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the reason I'm happiest most is that it just seems to be boiling piss with Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
Because they're either coming out and like complaining about us celebrating a draw.
Yeah.
And like, oh, look at them go, celebrating a draw at our place. What a tin pot club. And it's just like, you are showing how much this has hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just by getting so upset. I've seen much more anger at alleged Spurs fans celebrating a draw at the Emirates than I have seen Spurs fans celebrating a draw at the Emirates, apart from right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny how much they're giving themselves away, which is sort of top down. Like, that's kind of what Arteta does too. So, you know, it makes sense that they'd be emulating that kind of, you know, psychology.
They follow their leader.
They do follow their leader.
Follow Lego Mans.
Lego Man. One thing I noticed actually when we were watching the game at mine is every time we scored, or, you know, there was one that was off, or someone was offside maybe, I'd be like, yes! And you'd just go, what is any possible reason for that to be ruled out? Just dead eyes. Thanks, Simon. Ready to have dreams crushed.
Yeah, it's like something I'm trying to get out of because I'm usually every day to day, I'm like fairly positive, upbeat, look on the, you know, bright side of things and all that. But like, I feel like that just with how weird VAR has been this season, I'm just now primed that it's like, we'll score a goal and we're like, it's perfectly onside. But then they're going to go back 3 minutes And then it's just like, oh, the VAR has caught Romero saying a mean thing to Odegaard.
Yeah, so actually, no.
And it's going to get ruled out. So I think it is on me. Like, I feel like I want to start celebrating with your sort of emotion as well, because what's the point? If you're watching and every goal, you're like, well, let's wait for it to be ruled out.
But I think there's benefits to your, like, I would go, yes, and then go, oh, no. So I'd have this weird roller coaster, and then it would get approved. I don't know what the language is. And then I'd be like, oh, good. Whether you'd go, is it going to be ruled out? And then when it wasn't, you'd go, yes, come on. Like, so it's more mature. It's a mature response.
Yeah, but I don't like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because even compared to the Sheffield game, and when I was watching myself, and when those goals happened, I was speechless and like couldn't contain my emotion here. I feel like maybe because we were coming from behind in this.
Yeah.
And I was just like, when there's Arsenal games, it's like narratives always seem to come up that. So it's like, oh, we equalised, but then no, it's ruled out. And then no, red card, all this sort of stuff. Yeah, I think it's something that I'm going to work on.
Oh, okay.
Something I'm going to work on.
Yeah, sure.
Letting go, releasing, and enjoying those moments.
Let it go. Yeah.
That is just, with a 2-year-old toddler, that is constantly in my head now. But that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Especially when the goals we scored were legitimately good goals.
Yeah, they were great goals.
Compared to Arsenal's goals.
Yeah.
And this is why it's so funny seeing like Arsenal fans or even Arteta talk about it of like, oh, we were unlucky, we should have won, we had them, all this sort of stuff. And it's like, you had a pretty like dicey, deflected own goal.
Yeah.
And then a penalty, which, fair enough, like, you can't argue too much, but also, like, it's not like you dominated, had all these clear-cut chances, and then, have been really hard done by. It's like we scored the 2 best goals of the game.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I couldn't believe, and it only hit me actually on the way here, that you know how for both goals Saka celebrated with the like dart thing. Like for the first goal, he kicked it into Romero, it then rebounded at like a 45-degree angle into the goal. If there's anything that's the opposite of the pretend dart throw, it's that.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
It's like you need to pick up a bowling ball and pelt it at the dartboard.
Yeah, yeah.
That's effectively what happened.
Or like a squash game maybe would be more appropriate for how that went in.
I would like that as a celebration, like
looking around. Yeah.
People are like, what? What's that celebration?
What
it's like,
the hell?
Big squash fan.
Yeah, huge squash. Saka loves his squash.
Start doing that at Ali Pali, playing squash.
Yeah. What is the reason for it being called squash?
I know, I've got no idea.
I wouldn't assume that you would, but what's getting squashed?
Well, I guess the ball squashed. Like,
I guess it does squash, doesn't it?
Because then I think, like, why is it called tennis? What's getting tennis?
Tennis, yeah. I think it's because people playing on suburban courts, when they change ends, they got these rusty nets. They're cutting themselves on it and getting tetanus. And then it's called tennis.
And it's the accent that they're like, oh, he's got tennis.
Yeah, yeah.
Tennis. We've all got tennis.
Tennis. Well, it's French, I think. So it would have been like, we all have tennis. Is that French? Was that a French accent?
Yeah, that was pretty good French.
Okay, good.
So I love that the French are trying to, like, they're asking for help here of, like, basically asking everyone, hey, we've got tetanus, help us. And then the British are over there just like, oh, they're just playing tennis. Oh, okay.
Tennis, okay.
That's what they called it.
Great game. Okay, we'll call it tennis as well. But we won't change the name of our favourite game, squash.
Squash. Squash, great. Maybe they serve lemon squash?
Was it originally played with a squash?
Ah, that would actually be pretty interesting. And also very inefficient.
Yeah, you'd have to go through squashes like nobody's business.
We need 100 squashes to get through this game. It's like, should we maybe use a ball instead, like that famous tennis game in France?
Oh, no, everyone's sick.
Yeah.
Everyone's sick that plays that. No, thank you.
It was interesting, though, with the Saka celebration to see that when he first did it, because I can't remember seeing too many goals that Saka has scored. I know he scored a few goals, but I can't remember seeing his celebration. Yeah. So the first time I was like, is he taking the piss out of Maddison, or does he also have the dart celebration?
Yeah.
Because, like, the dart celebration, it feels unique to Maddison, but also it's like pinpoint dart. Like it could be used by a lot of other players.
Yeah. I love that Maddison said they asked him about it, and he was like, "Yeah, he must have still been doing it when I got around him for our goal."
Yeah, that was so great.
Yeah.
And then I think he also elaborated and said that they'd been talking about it on international duty and like bantering a little bit back and forth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so funny to see Maddison be like, yeah, he was still doing it when I turned in. Which is so funny. It's like funny to me as well that like you see someone like Saka who is like a relatively nice guy, like a nice young professional, like not controversial, anything like that.
Yeah.
Usually just kind of like keeps his head down and all that. But then to see a bit of banter, like I don't actually mind it from him. It would have annoyed me more if we'd lost the game.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like it that Maddison got the better of him and Maddison saw the fun side of it.
Yeah.
And it's like we can't appreciate Maddison and his cheekiness if we don't get a bit of cheekiness back. So hopefully this becomes something that maybe it fires Maddison up a little bit more. Like the more that he gets given,
the more he gives back.
The more he gives back.
Wow, what a kind Samaritan. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, him getting around Saka for that goal was unreal.
Yeah.
And the memes that I've seen of like, where is he going with Saka, like continuing on. But Maddison to keep it in play and then drill that ball into Son, who I actually don't know where it connects, like where it hits him and what he uses to then turn the ball in. But, woo, it was good.
Oh, so good. And a lot of likeness to the Kulusevski goal from a few weeks back, which sort of shows it's like, great, this is how we're really trying to play. And it's nice that we're not trying to get out wide and then cross it in. We're really trying to get in behind and cut it back.
Yeah.
And Son's finish, like there's a photo of Son and like 4 Arsenal players around him when he hit that. And it's just like, oh, Sonny, you are back in our heart. Like he was always in our hearts, but it's so nice that it's like we've got our Son back.
Yeah, that he's got that like lethalness back.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. And that second goal. I mean, did I send you or did you send me the video of that Arsenal fan being like, "Oh, give me a sec, guys. Give me a sec, guys." And then he does a little dart celebration, and you know by the end of the video he's going to be flipping out, and he loses it, and he says, "Jorginho is a Chelsea fan, old man." I can't remember what else he says. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's like the turnaround from that is so incredible.
Yeah.
Like just that desire to get back in. And like you say, to score the goal when some Arsenal fans are still celebrating the first one.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
The determination to, score that. It was, like I remember when we were watching it, we were sort of like, oh, Arsenal, and then being like, hang on, what, what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. God, it was awesome.
Because I think that's the goal. I went up to go to the bathroom and then I missed it initially.
Yeah.
And I just hear you go, yes!
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what? How? How? We just conceded.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what was so lovely about all this was that before the game, like, there was so much talk of how Spurs are going to get slaughtered.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no way they can deal with our press.
Yeah.
The famous Arsenal press.
Yeah, wow.
And it's like, admittedly, the Arsenal were pressing initially, and they did force a few turnovers.
Yeah.
But it was not this monolith that we could not like scale. That wow, this press that they just kept us like pinned back for the whole game. It's like we had a lot of possession, and I don't think we looked that uncomfortable throughout it. So it didn't look like we were playing against a team who had this dangerous press that we all needed to fear.
I think. Was it Merson that said they're going to slaughter them?
Yeah.
And then what did he say after the game? He was like, well, I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't being like, I was completely wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was the talk. It was like, oh, Spurs come here to play. They'll see what real playing is. We're going to absolutely kill them. And like you said, initially there were a few mistakes and, we looked a bit nervy on the ball because of the press. So great, it worked for like 10 minutes. Well, a bit longer, I guess.
No, let's round it down.
Yeah, round it down. So it worked for like 3 minutes, and then we just continued to play the way that we've been playing, and it was great.
Yeah, amazing. And it's so great to see us go to the Emirates, have more possession, have, I think, about 70, 80 more passes. Better pass accuracy by 1%, but whatever, who cares?
Still better.
But like, especially how Arsenal have played, in the last couple of seasons, become very, very possession heavy.
Yeah.
And have dominated a lot of games in terms of that. But so for us to go, just waltz into their house and drink all of their cocoa.
Cocoa. They have a lot of cocoa in their house?
They have a lot of cocoa in their house. They're known for having cocoa there.
Right.
And we've had the majority of it.
Is it a hot chocolate or is it something different? It's more bitter.
I think it's more bitter.
Yeah, yeah.
I like, why would you say I'm going to have a cocoa versus I'm going to have a hot chocolate? Maybe it's more refined to say cocoa?
Well, it's way more, like hot chocolate. It's a bit like, when you're at a cafe and everyone's ordering coffee and then someone's like, 1 hot chocolate, thanks. You're like, what?
You're like, oh, gosh.
Oh, Jesus. Like, yeah.
I'll have a cocoa, please.
Yeah, that's very different, isn't it? It's very refined.
Very refined.
So they're drinking cocoa because they think they're refined.
They think they're refined. So they're drinking cocoa, which we've just come in. We're like, oh, is that hot chocolate?
Yeah.
And then we've just poured the majority of the pitcher.
Yeah, yeah. And they've been like, no, that's from Nicaragua. That's our chocolate bean. That's our best bean. And we're like, what is this, warmed up master's milk, bro? We've sculled it.
And absolutely sculled. It's trickling down the face.
We've missed most of our mouth.
Yeah. We don't care. That's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. The perfect way to sum it up.
Yeah.
But it is just like, it's so nice. Like, I think from the last 4 managers we've had, this is the first time that we've taken points from Arsenal at their place.
Yeah, yeah.
Which has been great.
It's fantastic. Yeah. There is one sort of more serious note about the game, and that's that unfortunately Gabriel Jesus has been reported missing since minute 1, and no one can find him. But no one's checked Pedro Porro's pocket, baby.
Hey! They should check.
They should check because that's where he is.
That's where he is.
Yeah.
There's also that other clip. I think it was before a corner or something where Romero just shoves him.
Yeah.
Just shoves him and Jesus just goes down.
Well, maybe that's a good segue into Romero's game.
Yeah.
Which, you must be, if you're Christian Romero, you must think, what else can I do wrong?
Yep. I thought this was going to be that game that ended up in the red card. And we talked about that last week of like, he's due an outbreak, he's due something, maybe a red.
Yeah.
And it's got
he's due a pandemic. An anger pandemic.
Romero is patient 0.
Yeah.
And he's like, own goal, penalty, got a yellow. But that's it.
That's it. Own goal, penalty, yellow.
And that's it.
It's pretty mild.
That's pretty mild game, really.
Yeah. So that, as you said, the penalty, like, we can't really talk. It hit his arm. Yeah, I get it. His arm wasn't in a natural position. But as we've spoken about before, when you define a natural position, is his arm in a natural position for the stance that he's currently in? Like, you can make that argument. It's like, well, is it natural if I'm running full pelt to have my arms down by my side, doing some kind of weird Naruto run thing? Or is it more natural for me to be moving my arms and there to be away from my body? And then the other thing is, like, if it's that close, like, I guess he's just got to put his arms behind his back, and hit his arm, whatever. But
exactly. Like, do they want everyone to just run around and just wet fish the whole time?
Yes, I think that's what
like that's literally the only thing.
Yeah, in VAR, there's a giant cod in there. Boom! Like one of those the calamari dudes from Star Wars, with the.
Oh yeah. Because it's like it's unrealistic to think like you see players now like the crosses are coming in and they go into the like.
Yeah.
Like, and people in the middle of the box, are they supposed to be all like that as well? Like, I feel like it's a penalty that can be given, but I would have no issue if they change the rules and they're like, if it's that close to where the ball is struck, what's going to happen?
Yeah,
there's not the reaction time to move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, if you're going to call that, how did VAR watch that challenge on Vicario and go, fair deuce, that's fine. Yeah, all good.
Oh, it wasn't clear and obvious.
It wasn't clear and obvious. Like, he misses the ball completely. It's bizarre. Like,
yeah. And I've got a feeling, did Nketiah get a yellow for that?
yes.
And is that, like, this is where VAR still confused me, where it's like, I think it's like, if the ref misses it completely, they'll look at it and go, is that a red?
Yeah.
If it's a yellow, I feel like it has got to be a much higher bar for them to look at it as serious foul play.
Yeah.
Like, and overturn the ref's decision.
Yeah.
Which, it just sounds so ridiculous. And especially a decision like that, which is like, it's a very, very reckless tackle.
Yeah.
And if one of our players did it and got sent off, we would be like, that was really stupid.
Yeah, what a stupid tackle. Yeah, exactly. I think, I mean, even that logic where it's like, if the ref completely misses it, then VAR will look and see if it's a red card. But if there is contact and it's deemed reckless enough by the ref to give a yellow card, so we're already in the area where it's being identified as a reckless tackle, it then has to be even more reckless for VAR to look at it.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
It's nonsensical.
Yeah. And wasn't it the same ref as the Sheffield game?
Oh,
or am I
surely
making
not.
that up?
Surely not. I think that's your narrative there, I believe. There's no way that they could have. No, because this guy was a bit. This guy was a bit stronger. The ref. He was a bit more ripped.
Yeah.
This guy was a bit taller.
Yeah.
A bit more biceps.
I
honestly, that's how I remember the difference between them.
I used to know them all. Like, I could name and shame almost every ref, and now I do not.
Yeah.
I feel like they were so much more identifiable.
Yeah.
Like Howard Webb, you knew if it was Howard Webb.
Oh, bloody Clattenburg. Ugh.
Clattenburg. Or, I was about to say, Dean Thomas, who's a character in Harry Potter. Mike Dean.
Yeah. Harry, I've got to leave Hogwarts.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I'm going to work for PGMOL.
Yeah. So, anyway, I don't know why I brought up if I could recognise their faces or not.
No, but it's like, I feel like we do maybe have a new round of referees in there, and...
New class of 2023. Right?
Class 2023, the shit class.
Yeah.
It's good. Like, the refereeing overall, I think it was as horrendous compared to previous weeks, but it's still like, it's just not great.
No, it's not. It is not. Something that also wasn't great was Ange's suit.
Yeah, it's like, why are we going suit, Ange?
Yeah, it reminds me of when Pochettino used to wear a suit for the big games.
Yeah,
and sure, but he just looked like the principal of a sort of dodgy public school.
Yeah,
like it didn't. He looked smarter in his polo.
Yeah, that polo. Yeah, that's such a just like he's got that nice dad vibe. Like, cool dad. But cool, but down to earth dad. Not too worried about being cool. Like, say, a Conte dad.
Yeah, mind you, I guess in his suit choice, he also had that not too worried about being cool, because it was like straight off the rack from Roger David or whatever. Like,
not a tailored 3-piece.
Nah, it was just like, yeah, all right, I'll wear this.
Yeah. Mate, I just found this outside the Emirates. I just put it on.
Mate. Yeah, dinky dye. Yeah, found this, mate.
But yeah, I love the polo look on Ange. It'll be interesting to see now what warrants a suit game for him.
Yep.
So Liverpool next week, are we going to see a suit? Are we going to go back to polo?
I reckon polo.
I reckon polo too.
I reckon polo. Yeah.
Because also, I was going to say, does he but this is too self-conscious for Ange. I was like, is he going to mirror it on the other, the opposing manager?
He should wear exactly what Klopp wears.
Imagine he rocks up fake glasses, cap.
Can you imagine? That would freak him out. If Ange Postecoglou's thing was just like, I'm just going to wear exactly what, even down to, like, he's wearing the Liverpool tracksuit.
Yeah. It's like, Ange, what's going on with all this? It's like, well, I'm just working on my impressions, mate.
Yeah, mate, just working on my impressions. Managers, the lifespan's not too long, but I tell you what, the lifespan of an impressions comedian can be forever.
You seen that guy on YouTube? He's got thousands of subscribers. I would love that. It's just like we see Andrew's burner accounts on socials where
doing impressions.
You're doing impressions of all the other managers.
This is me doing Marilyn Monroe.
He starts just branching out.
Completely. Oh, I mean, it would be smarter for him to do just the other managers. That would keep it tight, focused, better account.
Yeah.
But he can't help himself. And sometimes he does a little Marilyn Monroe. Sometimes he does a little Elvis.
Sometimes there's a 12-minute video of him doing Groot.
Yeah, he loves doing Groot.
Loves doing Groot.
I am Groot. He loves that.
And everyone's like, "Hand, it's not even much of an impression."
Yeah, what are you?
Nah, but it's a good one, mate.
It's a really, well, I mean, you got to use what you got, mate.
Yeah.
Got to use what you got. Special.
Oh, see, this would be entertaining. Like, I would watch a lot more press conferences if, you have your manager coming in and you've got Ange rocking up.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, everyone, what do you want today?
Yeah.
Who do you want to speak to today?
Yeah. And they're like, you. I don't think so.
I heard Groot.
Yeah, Groot. My father is alongside me with every impression I do. You're like, Ange, come on, man. It was a beautiful speech. Don't tarnish it.
Don't ruin it.
Yeah. It was there anything else that happened that was particularly... Oh, I thought it was the biggest piece of banter ever to take off Maddison and Son. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, the two superstars.
Yeah.
Well, we don't need them.
We don't need them.
They got us back in the game. That's fine, done.
Yeah. Yeah. But apparently both carrying knocks or injuries or something.
Yeah, like, I think if you looked at that and you're like, why is he taking Son and Maddison off?
Yeah.
It's like, clearly there's something.
Yeah.
Some reason that's happening.
Yeah.
And because, like, they're forming a nice little, like... nice little duo now.
Mm-hmm.
Like suddenly Harry and Son, they're 35 goals, whatever it is, combined, assisting each other.
Yeah.
And that's a bit under threat with Maddison and Son.
So it makes me think that maybe, the duo of Son and Kane was fantastic, obviously highest scoring partnership. But take Kane out. I'm not hearing about Kane having some great buddy. Mainly because I haven't been paying attention, but secondly,
because we have not watched any Bundesliga.
Yeah, and I don't want to. But that maybe the magic ingredient is actually Son. He can just play in a partnership with anyone.
Yeah, that's his flexibility.
Yeah, that's his flexibility. Exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of just on Maddison Son, in all of those pre-game like Arsenal and Spurs combined 11s, so many of them were like Arsenal fans like wouldn't take anyone.
Oh God, it's funny.
And then you had, I think Sky Sports put out from their Instagram followers, so I'd assume there's a lot more Arsenal ones voting on this.
Yeah.
But their combined 11 was basically the whole Arsenal team and then Maddison and Son in there.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. So you're picking Gabriel over Romero and Van de Ven, as with Saliba, which is hilarious because I wouldn't. And Rice didn't even play, so...
Well, he played for the first half.
Did he?
Yeah.
Really?
Remember, he went off. I think he requested to be subbed.
Oh!
At half time.
Yeah.
Because in the first half, he was like, I don't think he had a huge impact on the game, but he was at least a little bit more of a presence in there compared to like Jorginho.
Yeah.
But I think he asked to get subbed off at half time.
Oh.
And then Arteta commented after the game and he's like, Rice, Declan asked to get subbed off. I'm not exactly sure why. Like
what?
Like it seemed like a little semi-dig, but it was just very, very interesting. But a lot of people had like Rice is like levels above Basuma. Absolutely not the case.
No.
There was, everyone was going like, Odegaard is such a better player than Maddison. And if you compare the two performances in this specific game, so Maddison bodies Odegaard.
Yeah, yeah.
In terms of output. So it's just so funny, these tribal teams of just like, all right, combined 11, no one. That's my point for today.
Yeah. But also it's so funny that the concept of a combined 11, it's fun, I guess. But it's just, if you put out a combined 11... They'd probably suck.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not how it works.
Oh, totally.
I didn't know that Rice even played. That's so interesting. But even funnier that Arteta was like, don't know why he wanted to get... Like, as if he'd been like, Declan, you don't want to play the next half. And he's like, no. Why? I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, why do you not? I don't want to talk about it. It's my private matter.
What do you understand? What do you not understand about I don't want to talk
about it? You wouldn't get it. Mikel, you wouldn't get it.
Declan, we'll talk about this later.
Yeah, we'll talk about this. No, we won't,
No.
because you will just misinterpret what I'm going through. Actually,
Yeah, it's. Did you catch through the game too? There's that moment where Ramsdale is doing that.
Oh, what the hell was that? Yeah,
and why I want to bring this up is because that's the sort of thing that if a Spurs player was doing that, Arsenal fans would be all over it.
Yeah.
Given that we've pointed it out as Spurs fans, Arsenal fans are like, duh, what's wrong with someone just supporting their friend or their teammate, someone who's come in to take their spot?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a bit over the top of like, someone's come in, taken your spot, which, sure, competitiveness, you're going to be like, all right, maybe for the team, good, whatever. But you're not going to be happy about it. Yeah. And to do this giant show of like, I'm good, don't worry, everyone, I'm okay with this.
Yeah, it was so performative and so weird.
Yeah.
I just don't get it, because he could just do nothing.
Yeah.
And
he could give a little fist bump, he could give a little clap just down here.
Yeah.
But it's huge over the top.
Yeah, it was so strange. And it also, like, it looked, the way he did it, like you just did with the, like, over his head, it looks like the equivalent of like a real life shit post. Like he's like literally mocking. It's so strange. I don't get it.
It's like maybe we just feel sorry for Ramsdale. He just doesn't know what to do. He's found himself on the bench. He's got Guido as a manager.
Yeah, he's got. I'm listening to Wheeler Dealer Radio, and they're referring to him as a flat earther. I was like, he's Lego Man flat earther.
That would not surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Did you see this thing that Arteta is? He basically lives out of his technical area. But there's this clip going around online, which is later on in the game, Kulusevski's kind of running out to the wing.
Yep.
And then he's got two Arsenal players kind of on either side of him. And Arteta is like closing him down from the front and is like sort of like shepherding him along the line and like comes out to meet him. And when you see it, it's like, that shouldn't be allowed. Yeah. Like he's come basically right on the touchline and he's come out into the player's sort of space in a sense without coming onto the field. And it's just like, how is that allowed as a manager to be able to do that?
Yeah. Because
you'd say, look, he's off the pitch, but still, if you're running towards the touchline there, you see some body coming in towards you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who they are, but you just shouldn't. No one should be encroaching like that and trying to like shepherd you out and make that space seem smaller.
Well, the fact that we changed our socks and shorts for this game because of the like a white color clash, because if you're making decisions that quickly, you need to be able to sort of see things and not have to think for a second. Wait, is that my player or is that like, that's insane that I haven't seen the clip. That's bananas.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's like Arteta, I feel like, is the opposite of Ange in every way. Like, I don't know if he's the most disliked manager in the league, but there's not a lot to like about him as a rival fan.
No.
Like the way he conducts himself in interviews, the way he just talks, like he seems so kind of like almost immature with how he answers questions.
Yeah.
So petty. Yeah. Like even after the game, he was talking about like as if they were hard done by and should have won. But it was just such a weird defensive way to talk. When you see Ange and he's like, yeah, mate, well, look, good game. I'm just proud of the boys for doing this, that, and everything else. Yeah. And it's like, we've got the most, like, probably the most loved manager in the league from neutrals at the moment. And then Arteta is he's just something else.
Yeah. Yeah, he's revolting. Absolutely revolting.
Filth.
Yeah. Filth!
Well, why not? Why not?
Well, no, why not? I agree with you. I would say other things too.
Yeah.
I would, but I won't because I'm just a classy guy.
Leave it to the imagination.
Yeah, leave it to the imagination. Whatever you're thinking is better than what I could produce.
Yeah.
So know that. Know that. Yeah, he's a freak. I hate him. What else do we? Oh, the table.
The table.
Yeah.
It's shaping up quite interestingly.
Yeah.
In that Brighton are doing well. I would love for them to start dropping off very soon. Yep. I know they've had a loss, but it's pretty interesting that I don't know if many people would have had Spurs and Brighton in the top 4 after, say, 6. And I know we're only 6 weeks in.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't think many people would have had Spurs and Brighton there. A lot of people have had, like, Chelsea coming back into the fold, Man U, or all that sort of stuff. And it's like, it's just so amazing that Chelsea just keep nosediving.
Oh, I can't believe they lost again.
It's
so funny. It's so funny.
I wonder if there are any Spurs fans online now who are like, no, but I still would have liked us to get Poch back in.
Yeah.
Oh no, he still would have been like good and like it's like the longer this goes on, the more I see analysts going like, Poch is facing the same issues here as he had at PSG, and they don't see it really improving massively over time.
Yeah.
Just if they keep buying more players, it's not necessarily going to change his inability to break down a low block.
Yeah, that was an issue that we had when he was our manager.
Yeah.
Do you also remember, which I thought was interesting, playing a team that has such an amazing press, that when we would play under Pochettino, we'd play this pressing game, but then when we'd come across other teams that also pressed, we'd kind of shit the bed.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't handle the fact that it was happening, which is so strange. Like that there was just no way of us, like it was so predictable almost that if it was like, okay, here we go. Whether watching Ange, we press too, but being able to manage it rather than just sort of be like, oh no,
yeah,
we're doing what we do.
That's I just pictured Heckingbottom again from last week. No, what the team's doing? Wait, no, they're not allowed to do that. Oh no, what do we do now? Give us 20 minutes. Let's have a break. Time out.
Open the transfer window. Yeah. We need to make some buys if they're going to do that.
We can't do that mid-game.
Yeah. Do it.
Do it.
I'll figure it out. I just need 2 to 3 hours.
The league, I feel, is getting, whilst we're saying that like we've come back up, Brighton have come back up, I feel like there is quite a bit of polarization happening here because the bottom 3 teams, Luton, Burnley, Sheffield, whoa.
Yeah.
They are not looking good at all.
No. I mean, especially, with Luton sort of coming from, they were in the 5th division or they were non-league in 2014, I think, which is pretty amazing that they're in the Premier League.
Oh, totally.
But coming into a league with so much more money, and so clubs that have been there even a year more than them have received 2 lots of, TV money and whatever else comes with it. So I think we're just seeing how stark the difference is between the Premier League and, those, even the Championship, which apparently is quite good this year. But even so, like, they just don't have maybe the infrastructure or the players or whatever it may be to sort of keep up. And also almost all of them are playing, like, yeah, we're down the bottom, but we play pretty crazy cool football.
Yeah.
Where none of them are that, like, Sean Dyche, like, we're going to ruin this experience for people.
Yeah. And Sheffield's, like, their attempt at pressing at time waste, hasn't worked at all.
Nope.
You think at one stage they got to change that up, but
yeah, they lost 8-0.
Yeah. It's it's interesting. Brighton worry me a little bit. But who cares about these other teams? Like Tottenham, we're doing well. We're in the top 4.
Yeah, we're in the top 4.
Woo! That's a reason to celebrate.
Mm-hmm. And we got Luton this week. Yeah, do it. Yeah, hey! We drew.
Do we have Luton? Wait, after Liverpool.
Oh, my
Liverpool's
calendar's
our next
wrong.
game, right?
Yeah, it is. My calendar's
And then
wrong.
I think we have Luton.
Yeah, my calendar's wrong.
At a very watchable time again.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
I think so.
Oh, nice. Great. Hell yeah. Should we do some questions?
Yeah, we should do questions. We have one from Ted Cruz in USA.
Good on you, Ted.
Congratulations on Ted Cruz in USA. Him and his partner just had a baby.
Oh.
And they sent us a photo with our pod on the TV in the background.
Oh, wow.
Which is delightful.
I was thinking, I listened to Extra Inch, and they always have like, and congratulations to our ex-sub, Meat Boy or whatever the name is.
I just love that the one to come up with any Spurs related name. It's Meat Boy.
Meat Boy. You know, congrats to him and his partner who have just given. You know, they've got a new baby. And I was like,
just a slab of meat.
But we, you know, like, I mean, it's the tone of the podcast where we always get like, who's got the shiniest head? Saka, which I love. I much prefer that. You know, consistently. Not to say this isn't grade 2. But it's so nice to have. Yeah, that's so nice to share that.
That's a nice sentiment that we share. Yeah.
People can start calling us the bonus centimeter. Do you get it?
The bone. I don't.
Extra inch, bonus centimeter.
Nice. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now I get it.
Yeah. We can never be the bonus centimeter if you don't get it.
No, I'm sorry. The whole pod will just be you explaining that to me. I'm like, I'm still struggling. I'm still struggling with a part of it.
We never talk about the game. It's just like, it's like, it doesn't matter. What's the rest of the question?
Well, it's
Congratulations, Ted.
It's interesting that you say that, and then Ted's question goes into, which Tottenham player would be the best midwife?
Yes. Yes.
Vicario, too easy. Safe pair of hands.
Yep.
My money is on Gentle Ben.
Yep.
Seems like a really calming influence, and his Welsh lilt would really help keep things chill.
Mm-hmm.
What's a lilt?
Like, you know how they have that little... I can't do a Welsh accent, but there's that like do-do-do thing at the end.
Like intonation of the...
Yeah.
Great.
Lilt, yeah.
Oh, great. I'm going to start using lilt.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to look up firstly how to use it properly. Yeah. I'll just be going like, beautiful lilt. And they're like, what?
What's wrong with what the hell?
What's wrong with you? That's very inappropriate. Cess, a close second because he's probably picked up a thing or two from being on the treatment table so frequently. Little dig at Cess.
Little dig at Cess. What, the treatment table in the maternity ward?
Yeah. So, Ryan, you've been in hospital so many times.
Yeah.
We can't keep giving you the
adult
beds.
Yeah, nah, you're going to be in the maternity ward now, right?
Yep. All right.
You're pregnant with injuries. And he's like, guys, I've come here for help.
Yeah. And then, well, maybe that's why he never recovers, because we just keep sending him to the maternity ward.
Yeah.
Instead.
And they're like, how dilated are you? And he's like, what the fuck?
It's like, no, it's a hamstring.
It's a hamstring.
That's
an interesting name for a boy.
Yeah. And then the last part says, Romero, though, basically F no. So the question overall, which Tottenham player would be the best midwife?
Uh-huh. God, wow. What a great question.
Super question.
What a great question. Who would I have as my midwife? Who would you have?
I think Maddison.
Yep.
But I could be tainted by the fact that recently have seen him with babies. I don't know if he's had one or two recently, but definitely one. See, Romero, interesting enough, he's put up a few Instagram videos of him like wrestling with his toddler on the bed.
I'd have him then.
I think Romero would be good because he would take control of the situation.
I think it'd be quickest birth in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would just, like you said, take control, make things happen.
And then we go. Birth done.
Birth done. Birth clocked.
I think if Ange, I think would be just a nice calming presence.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. It's funny when these questions get asked because I forget every player that we have in our team. Like I just go completely blank.
Well, let's try to measure them against a metric which we have absolutely no data for.
Yeah, true.
And
true,
it's
true. Here we go.
Oh.
The bonus centimeter out of it again. No, you know what I...
Wait, so for something in my mind then, I was like, hang on, you've pulled up some midwife data on our players?
Hang on, let me just get that data up. Yeah, just reviewing it here. I would choose Emerson Royale.
Yeah.
Because he'd make a sweet music video about it. There'd be a compilation. The whole thing would be documented.
Imagine that. It's like... The labour goes for like 15 hours or whatever, but at the end, Royale's like, but don't worry, I've got a sweet birth comp.
Yeah, I've got the greatest birth. This thing is transformative.
Speaking of all that, there are a lot more players now who seem to be following Emerson's lead, and they've got their own like custom graphics
departments.
They've
all got Canva.
They've. I love it that like the players are doing it all themselves. Like maybe Son's like, all right, everyone, team building.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to employ anyone to do your pre-match graphics. You have to do it yourself on Canva.
Mm-hmm.
We've all got an education account we can all jump into.
Yeah.
Now that's the challenge for the season. Let's see how we go.
Maybe like as part of the extracurricular stuff, they're all doing a graphic design course.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Show us your album covers that you made for your favorite artist.
So why are we doing this again?
Yeah.
Team bonding.
Team bonding, give yourself a bit of creative exercise.
Is it because you've fired the whole graphics department? No. Not at all.
No.
But I do just find it funny when you get like the Spurs official ones, they've always got a combination of players in there. But then you've got like your doggies one, which is him standing as tall as Big Ben next to it with the Emirates in the background. And he's standing like in the Thames, just arms out. And I'm like, I love that as an image.
Yeah.
I love Van der Ven. It's him on the ball and then a big picture of him in the background holding the shirt and looking at the badge.
Yep.
Romero, there's one with him running and then him like looking up to the heavens. Yeah, I just love that these players like, do a pre-match graphic, just me.
Just me.
Just me, no one else.
No one else. Well, when you watch the game, there's all these other boys around. This is my time. This is my Instagram.
My time to shine. But it's nice. Hopefully we start getting more full comps.
Yeah, I would love that.
From that as well.
Well,
we have one more thing we need to do.
Yeah, true.
To celebrate.
If you're listening via audio only, Dan is currently lighting the cake. Lighting the candles on the cake.
Lighting the candles on the cake.
That's not accurate. He's now moved. He's got 3 done. He's now moving to a 4th. Very nice. He's using one of those fire guns. Do they have a name?
Fire gun.
Fire gun. A clicker?
Okay.
Fire lighter, I think is what.
Let's say clicker. Isn't that from Last of Us? The real
bad. Yep. So he's now lighting it. The cake, it looks like it's caramel flavored.
Yeah.
I
don't know why I couldn't talk then. I just had to be so focused on the cake. But there is a cake for our 100th episode.
100th episode. Happy birthday, us.
I don't think it's in either shot there.
Okay.
There we go.
Do we blow? What do we do now?
I think we blow them out.
All right. Ready? Set. No girlfriends, as you predicted. Thank you very much for listening to the A Bit Spursy podcast for this week. As always, if you want to jump on and have a chat with other Spurs fans, we have a Discord. If you're listening via an audio platform, there is also a video on YouTube. So as Wonderful Simon on Twitter said, you can watch that and see our dead eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
As always, I've been Barney.
I've been Dan.
And this has been the bonus centimeter. Come on, you Spurs.
Woo!